So now we're going to solve this exponential equation, okay? And this exponential equation is going to be a slightly more interesting example, even though it may not look like it's going to be more interesting, okay? So in any case, let us begin, therefore, to find out what is special about this equation. So first of all, given the form and looking at our previous two examples, we might think to ourselves, okay, I'm going to write 128 as a power of 8, right? No big deal. Okay, let's do that. Okay. This will be my n, this will be my 8 to the n. Obviously 8 to the 1 is 8. And then 8 to the 2 is 64. Because if I multiply 8 times 8, I get 64. Now, if I want to figure out what is 8 cubed, I'm going to have to multiply 64 by 8. But one of the things that I think you are already realizing is that that's going to be much bigger than this right-hand side. So in other words, I won't be able to write 128 as 8 to a power, at least not to an integer power, right? Okay. So there's a problem. But aha, if you guys have made your table, you might notice something. You might notice something about the table corresponding to the powers of 2, okay? So let's briefly reconstruct that here for our use and for our enjoyment and for the magic that comes with making this table, and you know, yes. Now look, so now if you look at the table that you created in your homework a couple of lectures ago, you should have this in your table, the powers of 2. But what I want you to realize is this. I can write 8 as 2 to the cube power. And I can write 128 as 2 to the 7th power. And so remember, our basic strategy that we had mentioned before previously, very early on, a couple of lectures ago, was that we were going to attempt to write both sides of the exponential equation as powers of the same base. But we never said that we had to use the base that we were given, right? So here, in this example, we're going to use the base 2, okay? Now also, let me remind you from our exponential rules that if I have x to the n raised to the m, this will equal to x to the n times m, okay? We're going to need that soon. So now, okay, so for example here, my 8 is now going to be represented as 2 to the cube power, and that's still going to be raised to the x, right? Because of course this is just 8, but it's just been reclothed in such a manner that it'll enable us to solve this problem. The 128, it's going to be 2 to the 7th power from what we just saw over there. And then using this rule here, x to the n raised to the m equals x to the n times m, I know that this left-hand side, 2 to the 3 raised to the x, will be equal to 2 to the 3 times x, which will equal to 2 to the 7th power. Okay? Now we exploit the one-to-one property. Once I have them expressed as powers of the same base, the exponents must be equal. So therefore here I have 3x equals to 7. Now I can isolate my x. I can divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals to 7/3. Okay, so this then is the solution of our exponential equation. I hope you all have enjoyed this example, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much.